Definitions. A religious or solemn ceremony consisting of a series of actions performed according to a prescribed order, or a series of actions or type of behaviour regularly and invariably followed by someone. These are quite interesting ideas about where you're looking at ritual from. An emic viewpoint results from studying behaviour from inside a particular system, the way the actual people understand what they do and think. Etic viewpoints study behaviour from outside a particular system. You are the observer or the researcher. Ritual relies on repetition. Repetition reinforces the beliefs of a group by fixing them firmly in the memory of those who participate in its rituals. This stick chart was made by Marshall Islanders. When those islanders went fishing in the infested waters beyond the coral reef, they performed specific rituals to invoke magical powers for their safety and protection. These charts, unlike traditional maps, were studied and memorized before going on the voyage. They were not consulted during a trip and were blessed before the voyage. They show us wave patterns, currents and islands. Synchrony is important to ritual, key to many rituals because it increases social cohesion, one of the main purposes of ritualistic behaviour. Rhythmic activities such as dancing and chanting stimulate the release of endorphins, neuropeptides that promote a sense of connection and trust. So think about concerts or solstice gatherings. Catherine Bell states that ritual is also invariant, implying a careful choreography. Rituals of solidarity are very common, shared, choreographed activities in support of a particular system or belief. The rite of ordination to become a Catholic priest takes place within the context of a Mass. Prostration, lying on the floor face down, can carry the symbolism of death. Formalism. Ritual utilizes a limited and rigidly organized set of expressions, which anthropologists call a restricted code. Communication. Ritual produces conformity, according to Maurice Bloch. Ritual communication uses a special restricted vocabulary, restrictive grammar. Ritual utterances become very predictable. So think about marriage ceremonies. A Hindu marriage ceremony with 7 steps follows a particular pattern. So does a Catholic wedding ceremony, another restricted code. A votive offering is an object which is displayed or deposited, not to be used, in a sacred place for religious purposes. It's made in order to gain favour with supernatural forces. So a votive is offered, given, or dedicated in accordance with a vow. Ex voto paintings, and these ones are from Mexico, are very beautiful. The purpose of the painting is to give testimony and thanks to for divine help. They use familiar everyday objects and spaces. These are made of silver and they are ex votos. They're often in the shape of a healed organ or part of the body. A rite of passage is a ceremony of the passage which occurs when an individual leaves one group to enter another group. It involves a significant change of status within society. What rites of passage have you been through? Annette Messenger looks at received ideas, familiar narratives, and myths and rituals. She looks at death through her work. Think about more familiar rituals, the ritual of shopping. Christian Dior, like lots of stores, laid out to encourage particular, clear buying behaviours. Interiors facilitate our rituals. Paula Rego, in her work The Dance, which is often interpreted as being autobiographical, plays out the ways in which a woman, the main character in the painting, larger than the others and to the left, may structure her conception of herself in relation to her place within a family and her roles. Sonia Boyce uses ritual of prayer to symbolise conflicting opinions about religious beliefs across different generations and cultures within British society. Jeremy Deller looks at more mundane rituals, the British ritual of making tea. Fikret Atay's video is called Rebels of the Dance, and it looks at two boys dancing in a lobby outside an ATM. They perform their version of traditional Kurdish dancing in their own personal ritual. Objects. Ritual as a theme in art doesn't always show a ritual actually happening. Artists often reference ritual through objects or materials. Paul Niego used his own body in events which he called rituals. His palpable objects and tactile boxes were made to be touched, opened, and moved. Rashid Areen uses photographs to explore his identity as a Muslim in British society. His work references Islamic ritual. Henry Moore, Rebecca Horn, both looking at the idea of a mask, reminding the viewer of an elaborate ritual performance. Shapes and patterns are associated with particular rituals, and Richard Wright's work here, Untitled, uses geometric abstraction, optical art, and minimalism. He uses patterns derived from medieval manuscripts, Gothic and Baroque architectural decoration, even tattoos and biker jacket motifs. Some references. So consider your own rituals. Do you adapt them according to location or living circumstances? Think about how the spaces you occupy influence your rituals, or vice versa. Which new rituals do you think respond to 21st century technology or ways of living? Do you think that ritual is a valuable, cohesive force or a way to prevent change?